Hi, today we're going to investigate the craziest instances of cheating in NASCAR history. The incidents on this list will be those for which NASCAR did not provide an immediate response. Stories where drivers got away with things are what we want to highlight. There's a certain mystery to some of these stories. While some teams and drivers have admitted to these incidents, others have not. Fans enjoy sharing tales of old-fashioned cheating as well as learning about the inventiveness of crew chiefs and drivers. The greatest stories about cheating are these ones. "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying" is a well-known NASCAR adage. Even now, racing teams search for legal loopholes to obtain a decisive advantage over rivals. Teams may get away with it for a while, but occasionally rival teams will raise the alarm and say something illegal was occurring, whether it was or not. Some of the best conspiracy theories about cheating in NASCAR that have not yet been proven true. Waltrip Darrell intentionally blows a motor. Winston, 1985. What perfect timing! In 1985, NASCAR introduced the Winston, a new event, and Darrell Waltrip won it before promptly blowing his engine afterward. Many thought it was a little too ideal, and they asserted that Junior Johnson, who will be mentioned once more on this list, built the engine to finish the entire race. In response, Darrell Waltrip said in the above video, "It's unbeknownst to me if Johnson actually did do that, since that's not an outright denial DW appears to believe. At least it makes sense." Bobby Allison, on purpose? 1982 Daytona 500 loses a rear bumper. Bobby Allison's rear bumper inexplicably fell off the car early in the 1982 Daytona 500, but he went on to win the race. Rivals swiftly corrected Allison, pointing out that the absence of a rear bumper would actually benefit Allison because it would reduce drag and accelerate the vehicle. Buckshot, Darrell Waltrip, Junior Johnson era. For the majority of NASCAR's existence, cars were weighed prior to competition, but not afterwards. Because of this, crew chiefs were free to be inventive and add heavy metal to the car before it was inspected, only to take it out just before the race. Darrell Waltrip came up with the most brilliant model for doing this. He would unscrew a rod in the cockpit to release hundreds of pounds of lead-shot pellets from the car's frame. When the car was jacked up to look underneath, the jack covered the hole where the pellets came from, making it impossible for NASCAR to find. In the episode of the Dale Jr. show mentioned above, Darrell Waltrip admitted to this. Junior Johnson's Ford Galaxy, Atlanta 1966 Dixie 400. This list includes Junior Johnson once more, but this time he is a driver. Max Motor City Garage claims that Johnson exploited some peculiar NASCAR officiating. Given Ford's financial difficulties and subsequent withdrawal from races, NASCAR may have been more forgiving when it came to the Ford vehicles that passed inspection. Smokey Yunick makes an oversized fuel tank out of a basketball. During the early days of NASCAR, Smokey Yunick was the most infamous cheater. He got away with some things, but not all of them. He did manage to get away with using a basketball as extra fuel in the vehicle. When Yunick inflated a basketball in an oversized fuel tank, according to CarThrottle.com, NASCAR inspected it and found that the fuel tank appeared to hold as much fuel as permitted. Later, Yunick removed the basketball from a fuel tank, which gave the automobile access to a few more gallons of fuel. According to CarThrottle.com, at the time there were no laws prohibiting this behavior. Even though it is much more difficult to get away with cheating in contemporary NASCAR, these tales will always be a part of racing history. When teams reveal what they are getting away with now in 25 to 30 years, we can only wonder.